and act a little silly. I don't know what people are going to think about me. But how do you guys feel about it? I mean, do you guys like excitement, games, that sort of thing? You guys like it? When I was a little kid, we had flashcards, and I was real competitive. I would always try and beat my brother, and I still remember those flashcards to this day. So I'm gonna try and bring that same sort of excitement so you guys remember. Now, I don't know how many boys and girls are up here, but when you play games, do you like to play boys against girls, or do you want me to just go down the line and say 1, 2, and then whichever 1, 2 run? You want 1, 2? Boys against girls? Raise your hand if you want boys against girls. I'd say that's the majority. So why don't all you boys go on this side, and all you girls stay here, and then I am going to disappear for a minute and pretend like this is your first day in class, okay? Just hang on. Now, I'd never been in science class when I was so I'm just using my imagination what science class looks like. This might be bad.
Good morning, children. So today, we are going to be learning how the world evolved. Now, I heard there was a lot of heat and a big bang. So I got covered from head to foot to head. But my colleague in my profession, Brian, is going to come up and explain. So pay attention. So Brian.
You know what kind means? What's kind mean? All right, this is being nice to each other. No. Kind means like you got a cat, you got a dog. Those are two different kinds, right? Well, except for a guy named Darwin come along, and he got this idea that, well, there's no reason for there to be different kinds. They could all come from the same thing. Maybe if we take a cat and we pick out of a litter of cats, we pick the one that looks most like a dog, and then you mate it with another cat, and you pick the one that looks most like a dog. His idea was that eventually you come up with a dog. But anyway, so if we do that, then we don't need any different kinds. So we don't need that kind of kind. Now, if you start with that, then you figure, well, okay, if we don't need any different kinds, then we don't need, that's Bible talks about kinds, but we don't need to follow what the Bible says then if we don't believe that there's different kinds. And if the problem is, when we start to think about, well, where did all this stuff come from? So this idea of evolution just kept expanding. It kept evolving. So instead of just being about no longer having any kinds, now it's become, well, anything that can explain the world without using the idea of God. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, so for evolution of animals to occur, we know that we can't make that happen in our lifetime, no matter how many animals you make. So in order for that to work, we have to make it take millions and millions of years. Well, then when they ask the question of where did it all start, then we have to think, well, we just have been using millions and millions of years to solve all of our problems with something that wouldn't require God, but everybody figures there's got to be a beginning. So let's create something that just is a big bang. So at the beginning, there's nothing, and then all of a sudden, there's something. And we just say, well, the science behind that is so strange that we don't know what it is. We just will believe that that's what the science is. So then we can create all these ideas, and every once in a while, some creationist comes up with a reason why it doesn't work, so we come up with a workaround that we can kind of make scientifically sound good until it gets it gets kind of messy. You couldn't really understand all of it if you tried, but anyway, a nice complicated solution is the best solution, right?
All right, so I think what Brian was trying to say in a nutshell, that there was this time and all these particles or these things came together. Oh, I'm gonna play one more song. Can you play that song without the screen being on, or you don't have to play it just yet, but can you override everything? So what Brian is saying, there was nothing in the beginning, so except a bunch of little particles, right? So here we're talking about creation. I took all of these things, and this spells the same word, creation. So I'm gonna put all these little things in this bowl, and there are a bunch of little particles in there, right? Now, over a long period of time, when things moved together, they said in this pool or whatever, the would stick together, and pretty soon, over a long period of time, something would happen, and it would create something. So why don't one of you who think they can create and shake and crowd a log bang, and then we'll dump this on the floor and see if the word creation comes out. Micah, try it. Mix it up as much as you want, and then dump it on the floor, and I want the word creation to come out. So what happened? It's not very much in order. It looks like you confused everything. This is a perfectly written word, but that's a bunch of confusion and jumble, and I don't even know how to make sense of it. Well, you didn't do a very good job. It's the girls' turn. Maybe they can get a point. So here we have a bunch of Legos. I probably should have switched around. The boys like to play with. You guys like to play with Legos too, don't you? So you take these Legos, and who wants to shake it and make something out of it? You want to? You look like you can shake it. Shake it and make something. You want to give it more time, maybe another million years? All right, are you ready? You think you made something? Open it and see if anything was made. What? Well, look, did you make this? Okay, so while we're at home, Azariah made this because he knew it didn't matter how long he shook this, nothing would come out of it. So he took the time, he sat down, here, you take that to your seat, and he created that. So that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Want to sit by your seat? So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So that was everything I was always taught. In the beginning, God created. Well, Brian went to school and he was taught that evolution, that things all came together. And that's what I believe we're going to run into more children that believe in evolution because a lot of children go to public school. So we don't want to just laugh at those children who go to public school and say, oh, what you were taught was wrong. We want to have a better answer and say, I realize you were taught that, but this is what I was taught. And we'll compare the two and see who has the best answer. So this guy, Buddy Davis, plays a little song about evolution, why he don't believe it's true. So go ahead and play that for us, and I'll go right into my lesson.
days he was through. So the Big Bang Theory's just a dud, and a million years are too. I don't believe in evolution, I know creation's true. I believe that God above created me and you. So praise his name for what he made, give credit where it's due. I don't believe in evolution, I know creation's true. Some folks are always
So it just keeps going and explains, but we're going to run out of time. So you guys weren't taught about evolution, right? You were taught about creation. So how much do you know about creation? You guys ready for the game? Here we go. Okay, the first day, on day one, and whoever answers the quickest gets the point. So on day one, God created. Who was first? I wasn't paying attention. You did? Okay. And we'll put you. Huh? Heaven? Okay. Actually, let's make sure it says. While light appeared, light divided from darkness. Would that be the same? Heaven?
Actually, that's right. Heaven was made at the beginning, heaven and earth, and then day one, light.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll, because heaven was created in the very beginning, but day one, actually, light came. So we'll take this point away. So you were almost right. But day two, what was created on day two? What happened on day two? You only got 5 seconds to answer. Nothing. You guys want to? Yeah. So day two, there was. So if light appeared day one, there was still a lot of water on the earth. So what would have happened day two? He separated the water. Okay, I gave you a clue. So the water went up and down. There was a firmament in between. Get ready, day three. Nope. Man, I think a good evolution would beat you guys up here. So day three, the earth and the seas divided. The grass, the herbs, the trees were all brought forth. Okay? And pretty soon I'll put a picture up here where you guys can see it all. But if I put it up there, you'll know all the answers. Day four. Just shout it out. Day five.
God made sea animals.
Sea and every wing fall. Uh-oh, boys. Day six. There you go.
God made Adam and Eve on the land.
Yep. Day seven.
Rest.
He rested. Good job. Let me put this screen up here so you guys can see all the answers. So that's what we'll be studying. So now that everything was created, which came first, morning or evening? Evening. So it was evening and morning of the first day. Because if you look at the pattern in the Bible, there was darkness, right? Then God created light. So we'll see that Adam fell and he fell into darkness. Now when we get born again, we move into light. So everything God does is for a purpose and it's good. He goes from darkness to light. So it was evening and morning of the first day. So pay attention. So now, I just told his name. I was going to say who was the first man created, but I was talking about Adam, so I gave you a hint. Where did they live?
In the Garden of Eden.
That was a tie. What did they do that caused separation from God? I think that you guys were saying at the same time. You just messed up what tree it was, right? So,
we'll keep going. Now that we've gone into the garden, can you see up there the creation of man? And then they ate of that tree, and God said, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. Do you guys see that up on the top right? The soul that sinneth, it shall die. So, something died that day. What was it?
Adam and Eve.
Well, they still lived they still walked out of the garden. Animals. Adam and Eve's body started to die, and they would eventually die because they couldn't eat of the tree of life. So they chased them out. But who said animals? An animal died that day. How do we know? It says in the Bible, yeah. But they were covered with animal skins. It doesn't say an animal died. It says they were covered with animal. Well, you can't take a skin off an animal without killing it first, right? So, we're going through, let's see. So what was the tree that Adam and Eve were not supposed to eat from?
The tree of knowledge, good and bad, like the tree of
You said,
tree of good and evil.
and you said the tree of knowledge. It's both. It's the tree, the knowledge of good and evil. So we'll just keep that one same. So when they ate from the tree, what came upon us? Like a curse. So what is the curse? Yeah, I know the verse is there, but what is Genesis 3:14? Thank you. What happened when we got cursed? We separated, but what exactly is that curse? Does anyone know? Like, what do men have to do because of the curse now?
have to work hard, have rounds bad, animals kill each other, we have to animals die, we have to deal with hard
Yep. What happened with the women?
women have to work, when they have babies, there's a lot of pain.
It's a lot of pain, exactly. And the serpent. What was the curse of the serpent?
He didn't have any arms or legs, he didn't have any to crawl on his belly and eat dust. He never had.
And then there was a promise made that his head would be bruised and whose heel would be. So, or if you follow this line, we'll see the promise was made that a Redeemer would come. So we're going to keep following that line and go through. Now, this next scene, because you guys have all the answers up there and you've caught on pretty quick, there are some trick questions. So if you get the trick question, there'll be a bonus. Okay? So, Adam and Eve's first two sons, what were their names?
Cain and Abel.
Who said it first? Cain and Abel. Okay, you ready? How did Cain die?
He died from Abel. Cain killed Abel.
Oh. Well, that wasn't my question. How did Cain die?
He got sent into the world and just had to wander around for life.
Yeah, we actually don't know how Cain died because God put a mark on Cain and said whoever kills him will be avenged 7 times. So I don't know how exactly Cain died, but you caught that, right? You caught it. So Cain killed Abel, but we don't know exactly how Cain died. So we keep going, and here Adam and Eve had these sons. Abel died because Cain killed him. Seth was born, and through this lineage, all the way through, this is what I remember as a kid. The oldest man, Methuselah. How old was he when he died?
980?
Nope.
963?
Nope. 969. We had to say it as fast as we could. My little brother almost beat me, and I was always ready for that, and I would beat him because I knew it was 969. So I still remember that. So none of you got that right. So now, how many souls went on the ark with Moses?
7, 8, 8,
Nope.
10,
Nope.
4,
Nope. So when did Moses go on the ark? Well, pay attention.
What was Noah's 3 sons' names?
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Yep, very good. Okay. So we keep going through. Now, imagine when the ark came on top of that big mountain up there, and Noah came out, he made an altar. I think every month or every year, I would have run around that boat and put fresh tar on it. What if another big thunderstorm would come and flood the whole earth? What do you guys think Noah was thinking? Like, wouldn't you have guys kept that? Oh, so Noah didn't have to worry about that?
No.
All right, so you guys do know about the covenant. Okay, so let's see what other questions I had on the covenant, on Noah. So that was the question. So then after Noah came off the ark, there were 8 souls. Then the 3 sons, Ham would have went through this way. He would have went over to Canaan. Shem would have been in this area, and Japheth, well, actually, after he went through. But then there came a time when it says, let us make a tower. Let us build a tower. Let us make a name, lest we be scattered. The name of that tower was? Why did the tower come down? Why couldn't they keep building it? You were talking fast, and they were talking my other ear. What was your answer?
Because God mixed up their language.
Mixed up their language.
And then scattered them around the earth.
Yep. So they went out, scattered. So this is my last slide up here. They got scattered through the earth. And then once they were all scattered, God wanted a certain people that he could still call upon his name. So in there it says, in thee all the families of the earth be blessed. Who did he promise that to?
Abraham.
Are you like a year or two older than everyone else? How much older is she than you?
A year and a half.
Yeah, figured. Smarty pants. No, that's good. Keep going. So, when God called Abraham, what location was Abraham at? What was the landmass called?
Mesopotamia.
It might have been, but I don't know. It wasn't Mesopotamia. No. So it was in the Ur of the Chaldeans, or Haran was the actual city. So that was wrong there. Do we get to take a point away when it's wrong? Do we? No? All right. So from now on, that's the rule, because you guys are really winning. So he called Abraham out of there, but because it says, in these, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. We're all the families of the earth. Remember, how are we blessed through Abraham?
God promised Abraham to have children as many as the stars.
Yep, then it's so that he had a lot of children, he had a lot of children. Who is the one that we could become blessed in? Jesus. So follow this red line with me all the way through. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah. Then the line goes down, and we'll keep following it. Goes through Moses. That's what we call the messianic line, or the bloodline, runs through all these kings. The bad kings are up top, the northern kings, the good ones are in the bottom. Keeps going until Jesus is born, and then it ends at the crucifixion. And why are we blessed if someone died? How will that bless us?
Jesus was perfect, and when he died on the cross, he took away all our sin. And
Amen.
Jesus as our Savior, then we can come and live with him in heaven.
That is beautiful. That is how we'll be blessed. So we go back to our questions. All right, so because you have 5 points, I'm going to halt you, I'm going to silence you for a minute, just so they might have a chance of catching up. So, like in baseball, if my son scored 5 points in an inning, the team had to go out to give the other side a chance. Make sense? Okay. So, now we are here. Abraham. Oh, how many sons did Abraham have? 8? Oh. Remember, Abraham and Sarah were old.
You guys can all answer. Wrong. 2. Okay. You guys didn't answer. What were their names? What were the 2 sons' names? Esau. No, not Esau. Isaac and Jacob. Oh, we're catching up. There's hope. No. You guys, what did you say? See, I would have. See, Jacob's up here too. That's what I was looking at. So it's Isaac and Ishmael. So I got that wrong. So you guys, you children, remember the story of Esau and Jacob, the stolen blessing, his uncle Laban, yada, yada, yada. Try to remember that, his uncle Laban. So what was Jacob's wife's name? Rachel's one. There were 2 wives, remember? Rachel was the one he wanted to marry. What was the other one's name? But Laban tricked him and gave him the older sister named Leah. Good job. So now it gets tough because Rachel was loved more. So God said, because she's loved more, I'm going to give Leah more children. How many of these kids were Leah's children? Oh, you should know. Your name is in there. You know the answer? Huh? 8? No.
She had 9, 8 boys and then a girl.
Oh, I'm just counting the boys. I didn't know she had a girl. I said the names up here. So up here, she first had these 4. Then Rachel got jealous, and 2 of these, I forget which one handmaid are these 2, but these 4 all come from handmaids. So then Rachel, which ones did Rachel have? Rachel was the well-loved. You're out. You know. Anybody else? Rachel, your name's in it. Joseph. And who was the next son? Benjamin. You couldn't contain yourself. Joseph and Benjamin were from Rachel. So, okay, we'll keep going because we're out of time. And we still have a couple points behind. So, okay. So, let's see if I can get some easy ones. So, Joseph, we're talking about you and Rachel and yada, yada, yada. Why did all these children end up down in Egypt? Yeah, but they sold, but that's not why all these children ended. There was a famine. There was a famine. So one more question. How long were they in Egypt? A little.
30 years?
No.
500?
Almost?
450?
Oh, was it? It was 400. I don't know if it had years or not, but we'll give you one more point just to see if you guys beat. Oh man, you guys didn't beat. Hey, yep, it's over. But it says there were all the souls which went to the house of Egypt were 70. What number is that? How many souls went down there? 310? No. How many souls went down there? How many people is this? 70. 13? Children, you failed your test today. You got to go home and study. That is 70 is 20. 3 plus 20, 3 20s and 10 is 70 people. Okay. So next week or the week after, we'll continue our tests. And I expect that everyone studies their Bible until then.